One of the trails that we have at Hot Springs National Park is the Grand Promenade. Visitors who are coming here would bathe and then go for a walk. Promenades were popular back at the turn of the century, where people would stroll back and forth and get some fresh air and sunlight as part of their becoming healthier. So they would bathe in the morning and stroll in the afternoon. The promenade was as much about meeting people as well as being seen by people, socializing, and getting an opportunity to enjoy the interface between Bathhouse Row and the natural environment of the park behind it. One of the many programs that we have at Hot Springs National Park is a cell phone tour. If you want, you can go to various sites around the park and see signs like this one. You dial the number and you'll hear a message. This one happens to be about the Grand Promenade, and it'll give you information about its history and its use over the period of time. You'll also find cell phone tour signs in front of bathhouses as well as at scenic overlooks throughout the park. Here we are on top of the promenade. This section of the promenade is about a quarter-mile long. Behind me you can see the bathhouses, the back of the bathhouses, and as we walk on down further you'll start seeing the natural areas of the park as well as where the springs are coming out. They are capped with green boxes that we'll see as we're walking on down Bathhouse Row. Again, the Grand Promenade was used for strolling. Strolling is very important for many cultures in terms of reducing blood pressure. They slow everything down, they don't walk quickly, and it's all about looking at the environment around them. They may look at the trees and the leaves, they may look at the birds, they may look at the bugs, but they focus on something and they try to slow everything down and to relax. Strolling in Western cultures is more about just taking your time. It's about meeting people and seeing people and having an opportunity to have a conversation. If you are strolling on the Grand Promenade, we ask that you don't bring out your cell phones. You keep your cell phones away and you talk with the people as you pass them. Ask them how they're doing and what they're doing and where they're from, to get an idea of the people that are here, because socializing is so important to our mental health. Hot Springs National Park has lots of hidden gems that you may not know about. In 1916, a trail system was started that provided graduated exercises for walking. It was known as a fitness trail or the Ortel Trail. Patients would come to Hot Springs and receive a prescription, and the doctors would check off one of 4 trails for the patients to walk. They would walk from the starting point to stop 10 and back, and they would repeat that, and slowly but surely they would extend the distance that they actually walked. Right at my feet here is one of those markers. Of the 4 trails, this was on the Blue Trail. The Blue Trail was kind of a medium trail, so that you had a nice flat trail, you had the Blue Trail, you had the Green Trail, and finally you had the Red Trail. And each trail provided a different level of exercise. Doctors didn't have scientific evidence at the time when this was developed, but today if you go to a doctor and you ask them, what should I do to get into shape? One of the first things they're going to tell you to do is to go for a walk. And the doctors here in 1915 were telling their patients the same thing. If you want to improve your cardiovascular pulmonary system, go for a walk. Take one of the many walks that are here in Hot Springs National Park. You can follow the course of the original 4 trails that people walked or any of the other 26 miles of trails. Enjoy your walk. Have you ever heard anybody ask, where's the park? What you're looking at behind me, as well as what's in front of me, is the formal entrance into the park. It's always been one of those questions of where is the park? To try to help people identify where the park is located, a formal entrance was created into the park itself. Designed by Stevens, this took in a walkway coming in from Central Avenue, up an elaborate staircase, and then ended up just above us at a music pavilion. And the music pavilion was a place where military bands from the Army Navy Hospital would come down and play for people who were strolling along the Grand Promenade. It was street music, essentially. Much like you will hear people playing music during a party, a street party, they were doing the same thing here. People would come out and attend the musical events as well as enjoy listening to the music as they walked back and forth, as they were socializing with other people and just enjoying the weather. If you have an opportunity, come down to Central Avenue and look up between the buildings on Central Avenue, the Fordyce Bathhouse and the Maurice Bathhouse, and you will see the formal entrance into Hot Springs National Park. Up here, you see the trail that goes over to this side?
Yeah.
That's going to take you to Peak Trail.
Okay.
And that's a straight shot right up the mountain to the mountain tower. If you go up and you go to the right, you're going to pick up Dead Chief Trail. They're both about the same difficulty. Dead Chief Trail goes around the side of the mountain and then it goes up to the top of it.
Okay.
So it's either a straight up climb or just a little bit around the side of the mountain and then up. So it's really your choice.
And then this is the thing that kind of goes back and forth.
This is the Grand Promenade, yes.
And where do you see the springs? Is it along this? Or?
Okay. You see the green box down there?
Yeah.
As you walk along down there, you're going to see a whole lot of spring box. You're going to see the green boxes. We call them spring boxes. Inside of them, there are some springs, and also there's areas where the plumbing junctions there, so they have a spot there. But on each of the spring boxes, that's actually a spring. The name of the spring is right on it.
Oh, okay.
So we're collecting water from those springs that you see the green boxes.
Oh, okay.
If they want to kind of put their hand into thermal water, and what's happened is water has made its way out. It's not a new spring, but it is thermal water. If you walk down a Grand Promenade just a little bit further, about where that trash can is located, the second one, there's actually thermal water coming out of the ground there, and they can put their hands in it. That way they get a chance to feel what the thermal water is like.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Sure thing. And there's algae around it. New rocks are starting to be formed. So where are you all from anyway?
Louisiana.
Okay. I saw LSU, but you never make assumptions.
Okay.
The green boxes that you see, they're actually, many of them are springs. They have names on them, so we're collecting the water there. Once you get down to the bottom of the staircase here, over to your right, you're going to see another spring there. It's called a Maurice Spring, so you can interact with it. If you walk on down the Grand Promenade to the second trash can, you'll see thermal water coming out of the ground, and what's happened is one of the pipes is busted. And so the water has found its way out, but you get a chance to interact with the water there if you want. If you want to get into the water to bathe, you need to.
Just on the public.
There's no place for the public just to jump into the water. But there are 2 bathhouses.
Oh.
There's one, which is the Qualpause, the one with the dome. That is for people with bathing suits. You sit down, socialize with one another and with anybody else that's there, and just relax in thermal water. They got different pools at different temperatures, so you can move around to see which temperature you like, or if you want to go from cold to hot and then cool off again, it's up to you. They have places to get changed inside. If you want the traditional bathing experience, you need to go to the buck staff. And at the buck staff, each of you are going to go kind of your own separate way into your own bathtub. You'll have an attendant with you. You'll bathe, you'll get into a vapor cabinet. They'll do a sitz tub for you. They'll do hot packs on any joints or parts of your body that are bothering you, like your back or whatever. And then they'll cool you down. If you want to, you can add a massage on, and you can do massages at either of the bathhouses. The spring that you're seeing over there is not a spring. What
We
is
would call it a spring in Tennessee.
okay?
Because we have little places like that. No, it's a spring. I mean, it's not a big spring.
Okay. What's happened is that the Army and Navy Hospital.
Is that what the big building is?
That's what the big building is. It closed in 1962, and they shut off the thermal water. But if you got old pipes underground, they're going to bust at some
Right.
point. And so what's happened is the water pipe going up to the Army Navy Hospital has busted someplace.
So is it like heating pipe? Because
It's
hot.
thermal water.
Okay, so it's from.
It's from the park. It's going up there, and what's happening is it's found its way out of the ground. Ironically, it just happens to be right at the drain. So it's really
the drain
cool.
wasn't put there for
No,
that.
it wasn't put
Wow.
there. It just happened to be there. So the water is coming out. It is thermal water, and so it is hot. And the thermal water itself does have algae in it.
Does it?
So when you put your hands in it, you're starting to pick up some algae that's there. And if you feel around the edges, you can start to feel the new rock starting to be formed.
Trail? How long does it take for us to get up to the tower?
It depends on how well you hike. It's you're only looking about a quarter mile. So, but you're going uphill.
It's uphill.
And if you go, both trails that you can get to from
take this
here
thing.
are about the same level in terms of strenuous.
Okay.
If you go off to the left, you can see the path
Yeah.
that goes around there. I'll take you to Peak Trail, and it's just a straight up
Yeah.
the side of the mountain. If you go over to the right, you'll get up onto Dead Sheep Trail. And Dead Sheep Trail kind of follows the side of the mountain, and then it turns and goes up
Turns
on top.
Okay. But it's more or less the same.
They're more or less the
strenuous
same.
wise? Okay.
About the same, yeah.
For us young guys, it takes a little while.
Well, you look like you're in pretty good shape.
We're
So
fine.
okay.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Hot Water Cascade. The cascade that you see behind me is a representation of what Hot Springs Mountain may have looked like at one point. The water was completely turned off and collected by the park. However, people wanted to see the water running. And so the park set up a display spring for people to see the water coming off the mountain. It runs throughout the year. We are able to control the temperature. We can raise the temperature as well as lower the temperature. It is hot at this point because we have people who like to bathe in the water. And so we keep it hot so that people don't go into the water and bathe. And when I say bathe, I mean with soap as well. They literally will bathe in the water. This is located at the Arlington Lawn. The reason why we call it the Arlington Lawn is because the Arlington Hotel used to sit on this area. There were two hotels here. The first one was replaced with the second. The second one burned down. The third Arlington hotel was reconstructed or constructed across the street at the intersection of Fountain and Central. Come on down, you can touch the water, but just remember you don't want to leave your hands in there too long because it is hot.